Hey everybody, welcome back to DSC Healthy Living. Thank you for tuning in again. And if you are watching my series about creating a healthy environment, then this is your 5th video for that. And in the last video, which was about your making a healthy environment in your car and when you go to restaurants, I'll show everybody like the weight or the measurement of shrimp that we eat, and had it in a bowl. And I don't know if I mentioned this, I can't remember, and I didn't go back and look, so I'm just going to tell you here. But the shrimp that I showed you was frozen. So we have a chart that tells us like 11.2 ounces of frozen shrimp will yield us the 7 ounces of cooked shrimp that we need. So that way you don't have to unthaw, too much food. So that was what I measured out. That was 11.2 ounces of frozen shrimp. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. So this video, what I want to talk about for your healthy environment, everybody's going to be like, oh gosh, I promise you this is a PG video. But we're going to create a healthy environment in your bedroom. And you may think, we go to sleep. Well, you don't need a healthy environment. But you actually need to do a lot of prep work before you go to bed to make sure your mind's shut down, your body, everything's ready to actually get the optimal sleep that you need. If you can do that too, it's going to make your days more productive. And a lot of studies that have shown that poor sleep contributes to poor eating habits. And it's kind of common sense if you think about it. If you're staying up late, watching TV or playing video games, whatever you do, if you're staying up late, then you're going to probably eat more. And you're tired and you're going to make poor choices because you don't want to fix something healthy, if you're up at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, and if you are on plan, peeps, you know that we eat if we're up. So that's just something we do. We fuel our body every 2.5 to 3 hours. And with that being said, we have, we have healthy options that we eat at that time. We do not eat pizza at 1 o'clock in the morning. Right, guys? All right. So, let's see. And a lot of the sleep actually helps a lot of the systems in your body to function better, like your immune system, which is very important now, especially to have a strong immune system. So you want to make sure that sleep is happening for you. And hormonal imbalance, women, if you're having any kind of hormonal issues, sleep deprivation can contribute to that. Emotional, mental health, that's kind of a given. If you're tired, you're going to be, that's going to all be affected. So, and it's also sad, but people who, the researchers also points out that anybody that gets less than 6 hours of sleep is usually at high risk of becoming sick, obese, forgetful, and depressed. So, another good reasons why you want to make sure you're getting your optimal amount of sleep. And I can't function if I have 5-6 hours of sleep. There's just no way. I can't. And then it makes it turn into a vicious cycle. So then you're not productive during the day. You're tired. If you lay down, if you take a nap, and then you're not sleepy to go to bed at night, and then you repeat all that again. So you have got to break the cycle and get your sleep routine, your sleep pattern adjusted. So it's like a well-oiled machine. And when you get that 8 hours in, then you are up, ready to go, and have a productive day, and then start that routine at night again. So, and if you think about it, really like your phone, as I'm standing here looking at the battery, and our signal here in Upper Cleveland County is horrible. So, if we only have 1 bar and our phones are down to like 10%, our phones will hardly do anything at all. These smartphones just will not be smart on low battery and low bars. So if you go somewhere and you've got 5 bars and 100% battery, your phone is at its optimal performance. So it goes a lot faster. It's not sluggish. And it helps. It does what it's supposed to do, just like we would. So that's why we've got to get that sleep and recharge our battery, right? All right. And the range for I mean, everybody's different as far as how much sleep that you need. The 8 hours is what they say is the in a normal range, but the range is like 7.5 to 9 hours. And now, of course, now if you're got kids and smaller kids need more time. I mean, this is just adults that I'm talking about. And then as you age, sometimes you might not need that much. So, but just in general, that's what you're shooting for. So how do you achieve that? So if you've got a busy, hectic day and it's hard for you to get in the bed to get 8 hours of sleep, you've got to adjust things throughout the day to help get you to that point. So the first thing you need to do is decide when that time is that you want that 8 hours of sleep. And if you have to get up in the morning and you have to get the kids ready, get the hubs out to work, or that's when you exercise, which is when I highly recommend that you do. Anything like that that's your normal morning routine and how long it takes you, say it takes you an hour to do all that, then you need to get up at 6 o'clock if you need to leave at 7 to go out the door. So if you're going to get up at 6, then you need to back up 8 hours. So, for this purpose of this and using examples, we'll say you have to be asleep by 10 o'clock to get up at 6. Okay, so that's going to be 8 hours that you can work with. And that is the time that you have the most control of in your life, if you think about it, because if you're at work for 8 hours, you pretty much don't have any control over what your boss is telling you to do or what your work day is going, taking place. If you are fortunate enough to have the flexible schedule, great for you. But if not, you can't control that 8 hours. And then the other 8 hours of the day, which is like before work and after work, you have commitments there too. So pretty much that bedtime is the only thing you can really control. So once we get that fixed, we should make sure it's uninterrupted, just great sleep. So your evening ritual, we call it a twilight hour. So the hour before bed, which in this case for this example would be from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I'm actually going to show you like a chart of your ritual, like what it could look like, and you really need to write it down until you get it down pat, and that way it's kind of like a checklist. You go, okay, yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this, oh, I hadn't done this, and then you can get used to that, and then once you keep continually doing that, consistency creates a habit, right? So then you won't have to have a checklist. But it sounds, if you're not writing it down and seeing it in front of you, chances are you're not going to do it. So I highly recommend making your chart. But before we do that, let's discuss how you can actually start this process earlier in the day. So for instance, coffee. I drink coffee. I drink my coffee in the morning. That's what helps get me going. Because why? It's got caffeine. I don't do decaf. So the caffeine in coffee and some of the other drinks that you may drink has a lot of caffeine. You do not want to drink that 8 hours before bed. Any other caffeine, if you're drinking that, like 5 hours before bed. But coffee and some of the other ones are heavy, have a lot of more caffeine content. So exercise is another one too. Again, like I said, exercise in the morning is the best to help get everything going. But you don't want to exercise like 4 hours before bed, because you're just getting everything really moving, and it's not going to, you're not going to be in that decreasing state and calming down for bed. A heavy meal, and a lot of people will tell you, like, don't eat after 7 o'clock. What we do, we eat every, like I said, 2.5 hours. So if we're up, we're eating. But if you are eating a heavy meal, you don't want to eat that past 7 o'clock for sure. You don't want to eat steak at 10 o'clock at night and go to bed. I personally do better eating my heavier meal like at lunchtime or mid-afternoon, and then at supper time, a lot of times I'll have some yogurt or something like that with just really light, especially in the summertime, or some cottage cheese on some lettuce, just something really light in the evening. So, but just no heavy meals before bed, of course. And let's see. Okay, this is a good one. No serious conversations 2 hours before bed. Women, I'm talking to you, because we have always been notorious for starting a conversation when you get into bed with your partner. And everybody's tired. They can't think. Usually it leads to arguments. So never, ever start a conversation when you go to bed. And that is of serious nature that needs to have everybody's full attention. Don't discuss politics. That's another one you don't definitely not do. And let's see. I don't know. Just anything about work too. You want to kind of cut off the work button because you've got to differentiate your work from your life at home. And that's really important. Like for me, because I work from home, I can continue because I do talk to my clients in the evenings sometimes. So you want to make sure that you're not doing that during your, family time. All right. So after you've so you can start that process throughout the day by cutting out that, caffeine, things like that, like I said. But you can also prepare your bedroom. I know this sounds funny, but anyway, what I mean by that is removing any electronics. We have not had a TV in our bedroom in years. So no TV, no phones. Now, we have our cell phones, of course, charging, and we do use those for our alarms, but they're on silent mode, turned face down, so they do not light up and bother you. And just make sure they're completely silent, turned off. And then also, like, if your clock in your room, if you do use a clock for an alarm, a lot of people don't even have clocks anymore. So, but if you do, make sure it's dark or throw something over it so the light is not, you want the room completely dark. And you want to have the room cool. We set our thermostat on 65, and that's perfect for all of us. And the range is usually like 62 to 68. You want to make sure you keep your core temperature down, and wear light clothing to bed, really thin PJs, or preferably no PJs at all. That would keep you the coolest. And if you are unfortunate enough to live in the city and you have a lot of noise outside, or even if you are in the country and you have some tree frogs sometimes by outside that you can hear, run a fan, air filter, one of those sound machines, something real soothing and calming that will block out that noise. Let's see. And the number one thing too that is a big deterrent for sleep is stress and anxiety. This is a lot easier said than done, but you have to learn to cut that mental switch off. If you are stressing over things, if you are really just anxious, it's hard to get a good night's sleep. So breathing techniques are a good way to do this. And you can do this throughout the day because unfortunately we are faced with stress and anxiety all the time. So Google breathing exercises. I mean, there are so many different ways to do this, but a good one is just to inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth with your eyes closed, and just do and exhale slow. And as you're exhaling, just think about all that negative stuff, just blowing it out, and you're going to inhale the good and exhale the bad. So as you're doing it, really, really think of that and concentrate on the breathing. And try it sometime. It's really relaxing. And if during the day, especially if you're faced with negativity, first of all, try to remove yourself from that, because negativity breeds negativity and it just brings you down. So unfortunately, there are some people that are negative in your little space, so just kind of get out of that space and let them have it. And I tell if you concentrate on one positive thing that happened today, then concentrate on that, and don't concentrate on the bad stuff. So you got to learn to kind of flip the switch, and instead of always looking at that negative, look at the positive. My daughter teaches me that. But anyway, take 5 to 10 minutes to meditate. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. And like I said, do this anytime during the day. All right, so talked over again. But you probably cannot see this chart, but I'm going to hold it up. But this is if you just write out your chart and put like 1 hour before bed, and then 30 minutes, 15, you're in bed, your head's on a pillow, okay? And then these are the things, this is kind of our routines. Make sure kids are asleep, the pets walked, if you have pets to take care of. You've had your shower, bath, good thing in the bath. I'm not a big advocate of the bath because for women it's not a good thing, but a lot of people like doing that. So if you do, using things in there to help you relax. They have these discs now too for you can put in the shower, and you put them in the shower. It says to put them in the bottom of the shower, but you know, and then as it comes down, it's like eucalyptus and all kind of things, different scents, and lavender. But if you do that, it kind of wastes it. So get a little bowl in the shower and put the disc in the bowl, and then that way it doesn't go down the drain. You're actually getting the benefit of it. Same thing too, those breathing ones that help you to breathe better. Anyway, again, so make sure your thermostat's down to 65 or whatever you're gonna set it for. Make sure your kitchen is clean, ready to go for in the morning, no clutter laying around. You wanna start your day off on a good note, so get all that done. Set your coffee pot, get your coffee ready, get your lunch boxes packed, anything that you can do for that. All electronics off 1 hour before bed. That's a good thing for the kids too. You need to make sure you enforce that with them. Make them earn their time too. I mean, they don't need to be just free will to get on electronic devices. Make them earn that time. Make them do chores. 30 minutes of chores, you get 15 minutes of free screen time. Something like that. Kids are gonna hate me. But anyway, take your meds and vitamins. If you take your vitamins, a lot of people take their vitamins in the morning. Ask your doctor about this, but in general, most of the time, if you take vitamins in the morning, and you pee a lot, especially if you're drinking water like you should, you're gonna pee out the vitamins. So you want to take those at night so they actually get in your body and do what they're supposed to do. And don't drink any more water an hour before bed. 30 minutes before, get your PJs on, self-care, floss, brush, facial. This is time with your partner, and this is where that's important. You want to make sure you have that connection with your partner. Make sure your kids are not sleeping in your bed. Let's see. Place, chamomile, jasmine, lavender, any like that on the pillows and sheets. A lot of sheet sprays are available for that. And stretching. Stretches are really good. I'm a big advocate of stretching. So doing some light stretches before bed. And if you can't get down on the floor, don't get on the bed and stretch. 15 minutes before bed, journal. Meditate, deep breathing, your gratitude, make sure everything's dark, quiet. And if you do read, like I said, do a really low light. Don't turn the overhead light on. Again, no serious conversations. Sleepy time tea is a good thing. You can have that instead of water. So do some sleepy time tea. And I also take a bottle of water to bed with me, or my cup, my Yeti cup, and take it to bed with you. And then in the morning, first thing, you want to drink that water as soon as you wake up. It helps you to crave water throughout the day. And right before you get in bed, you want to use the restroom, make sure your pillows and everything's like you want it, the sheets are straightened out, do your prayers, cuddle, massage, foot rubs with you. Again, it's important to have that touch factor going on with your partner. If you just go to bed and roll over and don't talk to them, that's not good. Some affection is necessary. And head on pillow, tell them good night, you love them, and you cut the mind off. And so you're ready for bed. All right. I went over way too much, but anyway, I hope you got some good tips and tidbits on this, and we got one more video in this series, and as always, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I got it. See you guys later.